This is a pressure lock tutorial. What the premise of a pressure lock is to keep in contact without using your hands, and to be able to use pressure to lock it at any point. As you can see here, I can stabilize the staff and manipulate it while it's in this lock. So in order to do a pressure lock, you have to have 3 points of contact. Down here. If you can see this gap here, that goes all the way through. Now there are currently 2 points of contact with my hand and the staff. The third is gravity pulling it down over here. So if I place my hand on it here and simply push down, I can float the thing up and keep it completely stable. Now this can be done with any appendage. Doesn't really matter. The simple premise is to have 3 points of contact so that you can manipulate the piece like so. Once it's in these pressure locks, I call them, you can pivot, you can change plane, and jump between the many. So in accordance with that, this has led me to the pressure weave system, which is sort of like a fishtail weave, I guess. If you can chase the hands with the camera, it's going to go side to side in a poi-like pattern. All of this is done in a pressure system. When you pivot from one side, you can then drop it into a weave on that side. Pivot here, drop it into a weave. Done on the horizontal plane as well, simply by shifting it onto your shoulder. Do your pressure locks horizontally. At any point, you can bring them back down into vertical. So you can plane bend them, if you will. The weave, the lock, the pivot. Now also the helicopters, you can drop them on either side. You can also back up, Brett. You can also pivot with your helicopters. And shift between planes in any sense. Now the other thing that you can do with these that's quite interesting is if you go into a lock and lift it up, you can anti-spin while in the lock system. We'll just go back on that one. You can anti-spin in 3 directions or isolate. You can anti-spin or isolate in all directions with this pressure lock system. Now it's much easier to keep them in the top plane, because as soon as you go into the bottom one, you do have to sort of crouch down in order to hold it. And it makes it very jumpy for your hands if you're going to stall on that one. You literally have to jump one hand across to the bottom and swap your hands. So while manipulating in anti-spins and isolations with the pressure lock system, I tend to stay in the top half of the entire plane. Of course, when you are in the top one, you can do a full anti-spin back to top point and do a pressure stall there. That's pretty much it for the pressure lock system. Thanks very much for watching.